Hi, my name is Regan DeLue, and this is my final presentation for COM, and this is my audience. Have you ever been a part of a small group discussion where everyone's talking but no one's truly collaborating? How do we make sure everyone's efficiently collaborating? Today, I will be describing the efficient nonverbal and verbal communication strategies along with effective listening strategies to further ensure efficient communication amongst small groups. Next time you're in a small group discussion, you will now know how to use words, body language, and listening skills to further make collaboration more powerful. Throughout this course, I've gained a lot of knowledge on small group communication, and I've gained a better understanding of nonverbal and verbal communication cues along with effective listening cues. I'm very excited to go over them today. So first off, we have verbal communication, and verbal communication is basically how we express ideas clearly, share knowledge, and invite participation. It is very important that one doesn't dominate the conversation, unclearly speak, and use confusing language. With using those ineffective verbal communication, it causes a sense of the group members being lost and a sense of miscommunication amongst the group. It is very important to state your ideas at an appropriate time, and it's important to make sure you don't interrupt other group members because this causes a disruption amongst the flow of ideas and causes a delay on gaining the common goal within the small group communication. The next verbal cue is it is very important to use inclusive language. So for an example, asking, what is your idea on my topic? And so it's right there. And with doing so, using that language allows for a more effective and interactive communication amongst the groups. It is very important to speak clearly and use a calm tone because with this, it allows for a more welcoming sense amongst the group members, and it allows for group members to feel more comfortable to interact with you. And the last verbal communication cue is a good strategy is to use a group member's name when you speak. So for example, Rebecca, what is your opinion on this idea? And this allows for a respectful and direct communication amongst the group. Next, we have nonverbal communication. And so basically, some main cues of nonverbal communication is gestures, facial expressions, eye contact, body language, and physical proximity. So these cues send constant messages throughout the group, and the cues are also amplified due to face-to-face contact and small proximity within the group. First off, we have facial expressions, and basically facial expressions show if one is interested, agrees, or understands what you're saying. Facial expressions complement verbal messages within the group. It is important to have a welcoming and good facial expression. For example, smiling, because it allows other group members to want to interact with you. It is bad to have a more serious or angry facial expression because people will more likely avoid you. Next, we have eye contact, and eye contact basically is able to influence interaction within the group, and it allows you to signal to others when you want to speak. It's very important to have good eye contact because it shows other group members that you are listening, and it is bad because it once again makes you seem more avoidable when you have bad eye contact. Next, we have gestures, and using gestures is important because it emphasizes the message you're trying to convey, and along with that, it also reveals a discomfort amongst the small group. Next is body language, and it is important to have good body language due to posture being able to convey your mood and emotions. So for example, if you are slouched, it shows that you have a lack of interest and a disliking towards the group. And then if you're upright and forward, it shows that you have interest and are attentively listening. Lastly, we have effective listening, and right here we have the Bownell's listening model. And so basically effective listening is the most powerful active skill, and it allows members to understand ideas being expressed. So first off, we have listening to hear. And listening to hear is basically the ability to make a clear oral distinction of language and sound done by your other group members. Next, we have listening to understand, which listening to understand is the ability to accurately grasp meaning of spoken and nonverbal messages within the group. And the next aspect of effective listening is listening to interpret. And listening to interpret is the ability to recognize, empathize, and respond to other group members. And then lastly is listening to respond. And listening to respond is the ability to react appropriately to others to indicate comprehension. Hopefully you all have a better understanding of nonverbal and verbal communication cues along with effective listening cues. And hopefully you are able to use these cues to drive to constructive communication. Knowing these cues allows you to be able to master and turn average conversations into strong collaboration and leave small discussions fulfilled. Thank you for listening.